All right, so you've read How to Acquire Your First Wholesale Deal, Volume 1, and you've watched how to contact distressed property owners on Zillow, up there somewhere. And you've listened to how to cold call sellers and maneuver through those cold callers with sellers. And you finally got someone to agree to sell their property to you. First, I'd like to say congratulations. Second, I'd like to say, lastly, what's your offer? And that's the question we're going to answer today.
So there are two ways to calculate your offer amount. One is using the ARV formula, and another is comparing the subject property to other properties in the area that were recently sold in as-is condition. Let's take a look at both ways, starting with the ARV. So your after repair value, or ARV, is how much the property is worth after the repairs are made. The way you calculate your offer using the ARV formula is shown right here. So in this example, or this is the formula right here, it's ARV times 0.7, and that 0.7 is 70%. And the reason why you multiply by 0.7 is because most buyers want at least a 30% return on their investment. So this number right here, you would subtract by the estimated repair costs, and that would get you your selling price to the end buyer. Another way to calculate your offer is using the as-is comps. So these as-is comps are just properties that were recently purchased in the area in similar condition to your property. So these comps can also lead you to finding a buyer for your property, and that's a pretty cool thing. So the way you actually find your offer by using the ARV can be shown in this example. So the property on 4245 Langley Avenue just sold back in September 29th of 2020 for $170,000. This is how the property looked inside. It was a brand new rehab. So as we can see, it was freshly just redone, vacant when it was sold. Everything's brand new. All right, just to give you guys an idea. So how would if you were to wholesale in this property, how would you find your offer? Using the ARV. So we know the ARV is $170,000. So if we do a ARV following our formula right here, ARV 170,000 times 0.7 equals 119,000. Now we take this 119,000 and we subtract, let's just say this property needed $50,000 in repairs, just for the sake of this example. So if it needed $50,000 in repairs, then $69,000 would be your selling price to your end buyer. But we have to find your offer to the seller. So we would take this $69,000 and subtract how much money you would like to make. So for the sake of this example, say you wanted to make $10,000 on this deal. If you wanted to make $10,000 on this deal, then you would have to offer $59,000 to the seller in order for you to sell it at $69,000 to your end buyer. Offer using as-is comps can be pretty simple. As we see, we have 3 properties right here that all sold between $20,000 to $25,000 this year. Besides the price, these properties are comparable because they have 2-bed, 1-bath, and they're between 750 to 1,000 square feet. Also, they're all within proximity of each other. Not to mention, they were most likely in the similar condition when sold. As we see, we have 2312 Irol is sold back in August for $25,000. We know that this property was not listed on the market because it does not say anything in the overview section. It would say something. It would say a listing or describe the property. This one just sold public record. All right. So then we have 2341 Brokaw. This property sold for $20,000 in February of 2020. It did not look like this at the time of sale. This all came from the person who bought it. They actually renovated it and put it back up for rent on the market. And we can see the evidence of that right here in the overview section. It describes the property. If we go out of this, we can look at our other comp and we see what I mean within proximity of each other. This is all in the same area. Other comp is Another 2-bed, 1-bath property, 2317 Henry Inn, 2-bed, 1-bath, 952 square feet. We can see it's in pretty decent condition, at least it's livable, but nevertheless, it still needs work. And we know that it was listed on the market because we go to the overview section and they tell us just needs a little tender love care. So this, we know that if we wanted to purchase this property, we had other properties to reference for what, they may be worth. We purchased this property, we can look at this one to see that, it's $20,000 was just purchased for, and this one was purchased for $25,500, and this one was $25,000. We can compare these properties with each other. Makes it a lot simpler. So let's test your knowledge. Let's see if you actually grab it on to what I'm saying. So using 3338 Kavanaugh Avenue as your comparable property to 2312 Iro Avenue, what would be the ARV of 2312 Iro? All right, so 3338 Kavanaugh Avenue is the comparable property. Let's look. So on the map, we see that our Iro property is right here, 2-bed, 1-bath, 988 square feet. And our comparable property is right here. And this is 3338 Kavanaugh, 2-bed, 1-bath, 792 square feet. It was fully redone. Just sold back in July, has a basement, and this is the description. And it's sold for $72,500. And it's within a half mile, definitely, of our subject property, which is this right here, 2312 Iro. So what's the ARV of 2312 Iro if Kavanaugh is the comparable property? You've had your time. What do you think? Time up. Answer is $72,500. So remember, your after repair value is how much the property is worth once fixed. Also, Kavanaugh was completely renovated at the time of sale, and it is similar size of the subject property, and it's within at least a half mile radius. So that is another big thing. It is inferred, but I'm going to make it clear right here. The property, your comparable properties have to be within at least a half mile. You can't have a property 2 miles away and say that it's in comparable price. That's not going to work. All right. On to the next one. Test your knowledge number 2. Using the previous ARV, which we know is $72,500, how much would an investor wholesaling the property on 2312 Iro Avenue have to purchase the property for if he or she wants to make $8,000 on the deal, assuming the property needs $26,000 in repairs? I'm going to give you a second. Just think about that. I'll read that again for you guys. Using the previous ARV, how much would an investor wholesaling the property on 2312 Iro have to purchase the property for if he or she wants to make $8,000 on the deal, assuming the property needs $26,000 in repairs? All right. So we know ARV previous 72.5. We know property address. We know how much money we want to make on the deal. And we know about how much the property needs in repairs. Let's see our answer. All right. So this is the answer. As we can see, $16,750. This is the math. All you have to do is plug it in, the numbers with the formula I gave you on the first slide. 72,500 times 0.7 gives us $50,750. And that is how much before we subtract the repairs. That's just the 70%. So before we just subtract the repairs, we get 24,750 after we subtract the repairs of 26,000. And then we have to subtract our $8,000 because that's how much we want to make. And we get 16,750, our offer to the seller. So a lot of you guys may have gotten tripped up right here at 24,750, but you have to remember 24,750 is how much you will sell the property to your end buyer for. So it's not how much you're going to purchase the property for from the actual seller. They're selling the property to you for $16,750. In order for you to get paid the $8,000, you have to negotiate a great deal with the seller and also negotiate a great deal with the buyer in order to get them to buy the property. All right, guys, that is it. And most importantly, if you missed anything, please rewind. But thank you for watching.